Hello folks, welcome to another Beyond the Boundaries episode. Now in this particular episode I'm going to be talking about another famous film location. You can see behind me there's a derelict pub. That's Shiregreen Working Men's Club at 136 Shiregreen Lane. This was used in a film in 1997 and I'm pretty sure most people know what that film is. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it right now. It's the Full Monty. This is Shiregreen Working Men's Club in Sheffield. It's in a bit of a sorry state these days, but back in 1997, this was one of the many locations used in a famous film, The Full Monty. The film told the story of a group of 6 men, 4 of them former Sheffield steel workers, who decided to form a male striptease act inspired by the Chippendale dancers. Gaz Schofield, the main character, declares that their show will be much better than that of the Chippendales because they will go the full Monty. In other words, strip all the way. They do indeed go the full Monty, and at the end of the film their routine is performed here, inside this very building. Despite being a comedy, the film touches on serious subjects such as unemployment, fathers' rights, depression, impotence, homosexuality, body image, working class culture and suicide. The Full Monty was a major critical success, both domestically and internationally, grossing over $250 million from a budget of only $3.5 million. It was the highest grossing film in the UK until it was outsold by Titanic. In terms of awards, it won the BAFTA Award and European Film Award for Best Film and was nominated for Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay and Best Original Musical or Comedy Score, winning the last. Now, if you've never seen the film, here's a brief synopsis. In the mid-1990s, the once successful steel mills of Sheffield, South Yorkshire shut down and most of the workers were made redundant. The film begins with 2 former steel workers, namely Gaz and his best friend Dave Horsfall, stealing scrap metal from the abandoned mills to sell for money. Gaz is facing trouble from his former wife Mandy and her boyfriend Barry over child support payments that he's been unable to pay since losing his job. His son Nathan lives with Mandy and Barry, but Gaz has joint custody of him. Money is hard to come by for the former steelworkers, and like many others, Gaz is desperate for it. His desire to do practically anything to raise cash for Nathan's upkeep gives him an idea. After spotting a crowd of women lined up outside a local club to see a Chippendale striptease act, he's inspired to form his own striptease group using local men, hoping to make enough money to pay off his child support obligations. The first to join the group is Lomper, a security guard at the steel mill where Dave and Gaz once worked. Next, they recruit Gerald Cooper, their former foreman, who is hiding his unemployment from his wife. Looking for more recruits, the 4 men hold an open audition and settle on Horse, who they see as a good dancer, and Guy, who can't dance at all, but proves to be unusually well endowed, if you know what I mean. The 6 men begin to practice their act, and this leads to some hilarious situations. The group realise they'll need a venue to perform in, and Gaz later learns he has to pay £100 deposit in order to secure a club for the night. He can't afford this himself, but Nathan lends him the money, saying he trusts his dad to repay him. Club secured, they then start putting up posters around the city advertising their act. It's during this that he declares to 2 local women who see them that they'll be better than the Chippendales because they'll go the full Monty. All is looking good until Dave, struggling with body image, drops out and finds a job as a security guard at Asda. The others publicly rehearse at the mill for some female relatives of Horse, but a passing policeman catches them mid-show. Gaz, Gerald and Horse are arrested for indecent exposure, costing Gaz the right to see Nathan. Disheartened and embarrassed, the group decide to forego their plan, until Gaz later learns their arrest had actually popularised them and the show had sold out. He convinces the others to do it for just 1 night only. Dave still refuses, but regains his confidence after encouragement from his wife Jean, and joins the rest of the group minutes before they go on stage. Ironically, at the last minute, Gaz has a change of heart because the police officers who arrested the group are in the audience, despite the posters stating the show was for women only. The other 5 start the act without Gaz, and it's Nathan who orders his father to go out on stage. Gaz, proud of his son, joins the others and performs in front of the audience and Mandy, who seems to see him in a new light. The film finishes with the group performing on stage in front of an enthusiastic packed house, stripping to Tom Jones's version of You Can Leave Your Hat On, with astounding success. I have to admit, the mind boggles a little bit because such an iconic film and an iconic filming location. How is this allowed to happen? Why is this now derelict? Well, there's a few reasons for it. Let's explain. The film was shot entirely on location in and around Sheffield in April 1996, except for a couple of locations in Shiregreen. In the film, the real-life interior of Shiregreen Working Men's Club is used for the Axe show. Despite being a famous film location, Shiregreen Working Men's Club has had a rough time of late. It opened around 100 years ago and was in business until 2019. That's when it closed after a downturn in fortunes. In 2020 it was slated for demolition, but earlier this year the Sheffield Star reported it was to be saved and turned into a boxing club, which was relocating from elsewhere in the city. At present it's still boarded up and derelict after being abandoned 5 years ago. Despite being in the state it's in, it's still something of a mecca for fans of the film. People turn up having travelled from miles to see the club, and they have done since 1997. Now, of course, there are other venues around Sheffield that were used in the film. I could take you to some of them in future episodes if you'd like me to, but for me, that is the one that signifies the Full Monty. It even says home of the Full Monty above that window there. It just needs a bit of a lick of paint, bit of renovation, and you never know, it could be back in business soon, couldn't it? I'd like to have a go.